Okay. So like a trigger or something.
Yeah,
you have to figure out what the trigger is.
Stress.
What are like some common triggers for people?
Their job.
Stress, yeah.
People that are supposed to be experts at something, such as buying a triplex in real estate, and them not being experts and not knowing anything about the laws. That'll stress you out.
Very stressful. Do we want to talk about that?
So we were going to go buy a triplex in New Bern.
North Carolina.
It was listed as a triplex.
Yup.
But it wasn't a triplex. It was 3 separate parcels. So.
But I was trying to get an FHA loan.
Right, so we're going to move into the middle unit and have the other 2 rented out. That was going to be great.
I'm drinking water to relieve my stress for this conversation.
Yeah,
but go ahead.
I'm sure that's what's in that cup.
It definitely is. Trust me on that. But anyways.
So yeah, New Bern had just passed a zoning law that when you combine a parcel and it's 3 units, that is now considered multifamily, and for them to sign off on a FHA loan, it has to be up to the standards of a commercial property. So you have to have bushes down the fence line between, fence lines, bushes in between the properties.
Or a fence.
Or fence. Basically what it was going to boil down to, it was going to cost us an extra $10,000 just to get the surveys and stuff done.
They wanted
for a hearing.
They wanted a survey. We would have to go in front of the Board of Adjustments for the city of New Bern and tell them why they had to actually approve it. So there was a chance we had to pay $500 for the application fee. Then, the surveys on top of that, and to add the bushes or the fence, that was going to be, close to $10,000, and they could still say no. So all of that would have...
All while we're paying the owner, $750 a month to hold the property for us, basically.
Yeah.
While we fix the situation.
Right. And then come to find out, it was never going to be FHA approved anyways because of that new zoning law that they had set in place. So it was just a bummer because none of the professional people that we were working with knew any of the new... They were unaware.
Even the lawyers didn't know it.
They were unaware of the laws that changed and the ordinances that changed in their own city.
Right.
So I had a lot of resentment for a long time because, yes, it is my responsibility to know these things. But as someone who is going to be a first-time home buyer, you expect the people in the professions that they're in to know the laws and not drag people along.
Especially ones that have 20 years of experience.
Which was our realtor. And,
so,
I don't... Now I'm very grateful because I do own a home. I'm not in New Bern. I actually love where I live now. I have my own house. Nate found the house. It just all worked out. I work in the area that I live in now. I don't have to commute back and forth. None of us would have to commute back and forth to work. It all in all turned out to be a great lesson. But while I was going through it at the time, that was super stressful for me because they kept sending me paperwork over and over again. I think I filled out 4 sets of paperwork because I had one mortgage loan banker or whatever person first. Then he strung me along. Then I think they realized that I wasn't eligible for this, and then they pulled out. Then a hurricane occurred and I lost my job, and then I quickly found another job to replace that job, which still counted. So that's when I was like, oh, this is meant to be. I I thought it was meant to be, and then
Well, everything around the area was destroyed except for this area.
For this
one
area.
area this place was in.
well, and they were going to give me a loan based off of being let go because I found another job. So that short window was okay to not have a job technically. And then another mortgage person picked it up and said, "Oh yeah, we can get this for you. We got this. We can do this 2 days before closing. We can't do this."
Yeah.
So I literally was paying this owner unnecessary amounts of money to hold the property because of course he needed his money because he's also doesn't have tenants in it. So he's losing money.
Yep.
So it was just like,
Because we had to have one of the units to move into.
right. So that was part of like, if it was FHA approved or eligible, yeah, we would have to live there, which we already had planned on doing that. But that was super stressful. I had to start
to bring those 3 properties together, you would have had to have a commercial loan. And
and there was
being
no way.
your first
And 20%
time buying a
down.
commercial property, you'd probably have to have 30% down.
30% down. Yeah.
So even though it was an incredible deal,
it just wasn't for us.
you know, it didn't work out for us. But what we're doing now is working out great. So,
But yeah, during that process, I had to, this was also kind of stress relieving. I was still stressed, but Nate took a lot of the stress off of me. I had to delegate and just ask for his help on, printing things or organizing things for me because I also was, working
in
New Bern. So I could, it's like I couldn't, we lived in Morehead. So to get these people what they needed, I was driving 45 minutes back and forth if I was home. So like one time I got all the way home and the lady goes, your PDFs are a little blurry. I can't read this paper. And so I'm like, okay. So I'm having to drive 45 minutes back to her to get her the information, so, Nate ended up helping me out a lot with that. Like he ended up meeting her and like legit like stood there and watched her scan my paperwork and make sure she could read it in her home. Yeah. Like, he's like, I'm not leaving this time. Like, if you can't read this, then
you're going to do it again.
You're going to do it again. Yeah.
That's right.
So buying a home is very stressful.
For most people, it's going to be the largest purchase they have in their life, right?
Right.
So just that the document signing process is stressful.
Right. Mm-hmm. It was. And
I think that's the reason a lot of people don't ever buy a home. They always rent.
Well, it's less stress, yeah, because it's not yours. So if like something goes wrong, you call somebody to fix it. Mm-hmm. If something goes wrong at my home, I have to find someone to fix it.
Or I fix it.
Or we fix it. He fixes it. I help, but yeah. I passed the tools. Now, I mean, that CPC, Central Piedmont Community College course helped me because I took an automotive class and I can pass the tools that he needs. That came in handy.
So the moral of this story is when you find what's stressing you, you solve the problem.
Right. Or ask for help.
Sure. But basically, if you don't solve the problem, you're going to continue to have that stress. And some people, they know a problem exists and they're not willing to do what is necessary to fix it.
Right. So they just keep being anxious.
So for us in the triplex situation, when it got to be over our head, we had to pull out of the deal.
Yeah.
It was not only was it causing the stress, but it was going to end up being, it had the possibility of ending up very badly for us.
Right, losing more and more money.
So that's more number one. Find what the stressor is and get rid of it from your life.
Yeah.